Well, what an incredible series it's been from Amy Hart, Carrie Fletcher, Ruth Madeley, Kate Garraway, Frankie Bridge and Romesh Ranganathan. It has been wonderful listening to their magical memories. It's brought back all the magic, all of it, all the memories. I've loved it, thoroughly enjoyed it. But we couldn't end the series without a roundup of the best bits. So here we are, Series 3 Best Bits. Enjoy.
We have just got back to Disneyland Paris, so it was our big goal to go back there with Derek. Unfortunately, on the morning, he couldn't come, but we went back there with the kids, and I was lucky enough to go with my best friend, Vicky, and it was just an amazing thing. So I do think there's a special place. I think I went almost the year it opened to Disneyland Paris.
Did you?
I know. Look at you. Are you horrified? No, it's only 30 years. It's not the 1950s, Gio.
That's magical.
You loved you? She said. You just saw me in black and white then, didn't you?
No, that's amazing. No, but you probably loved Disneyland Paris and it means so much to you then.
I didn't go to Disneyland when I was a kid.
Right.
But my parents didn't. We didn't go abroad on holidays, actually. And certainly we'd never gone to Florida or, California or anything like that. So it was the first opportunity. And I had some cousins that were much younger than me. They were sort of 6 or 8. I was in my 20s. 30 years ago, thank you very much. And my brother and I took them to Disneyland Paris, and I've still got the bauble from one of the original baubles.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Tom doesn't. I didn't say that you were old. I just. This is the third Disneyland Paris trip that you've mentioned.
I know.
So I love it.
Genuinely love it. I genuinely love it. Yeah. So that was the first time, and it was amazing. We went in January. It was snowing. There was not a single queue for the ride because nobody was ridiculous enough to go in January during the week. But it was magical. It was lovely. And I think actually that was just wonderful.
Is there something about returning there for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think the parks have something very special about them that is slightly different as well.
So lots happening in your world right now?
Lots happening in my world right now. Definitely was supposed to be in Disney right now, but then got pregnant.
Oh, so you've done the next best thing.
Yeah.
Come talk to us about Disney holidays.
Yes, had a whole 2-week trip planned in January. But I'm still trying to convince my boyfriend that we need to go on our honeymoon minus baby, because I'm trying to convince him that you need to do it as adults.
Well, actually, the last time we went to Disney, you had got engaged like 2 days before.
Yeah, I didn't feel sad about leaving him behind though.
No, you didn't.
Bye.
I did feel sad for him on the family WhatsApp chat.
Yeah,
though.
no, I did as well.
He was included, like we took Scott, your best mate, but we still included Joel on the chat because we didn't want him to feel left out.
No. But we do go to Disneyland Paris in a week and a half. Oh. And that'll be our first Disney trip together. I might cry my whole way round because I get emotional at Disney anyway.
Yeah.
So being with Joel and knowing how much it means to the both of us to actually be in Disney together, because it's like our happy place, but now we get to be in our happy place with each other.
Oh, with your happy people.
With our happy people.
Can you remember your first ever holiday?
My first ever holiday was to Sri Lanka, which is where my family are from. And my mum's from like a tiny village. And we just sort of relaxed and had a nice time. But it was really interesting to see the background of this woman that I only know from Crawley. Do you know what I mean? Like I only knew British mum. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so going back to her village and like seeing what she was all about. And also me and my brother became like an exhibit because all of the people in the village wanted to hear English being spoken by English people. So they'd like come and they'd go to me like, you have a nice t-shirt on. And I say, yeah, my mum bought it for me. And then they go, my mum bought it for me. It was like I was doing impromptu English classes. And then like you sort of go, this is your uncle. And then you go, hello. And then go, hello.
Really awkward,
and then you go, yeah, tea. Food.
What's been your favourite trip ever?
I know it sounds really obvious, but probably our honeymoons. We went to the Seychelles. We went snorkeling actually one day, and I went to get into the sea and my bikini bottoms got caught to the ladder that you climb down into the sea in. So I was literally hanging off of the boat by my pants. So obviously everything was on show. And the poor guys that worked on the boat were like, I could see them like stifling laughter and just like trying to help me and just being like, Wayne, but he was already in the water. And it was like the most uncomfortable situation I think I've ever been in. And just all these really polite men like trying to be really nice about it, but just also like I could just see it all over their face, and then just like getting in and thinking, oh my God, this is just awful. And then just having
to hike you up.
Yes, they had to unhook me, G. It was not very becoming of a new wife, but yeah.
So at what point did Wayne realise what was going on?
I don't think he did. I don't think he ever realised until I told him, and then obviously he thought it was hilarious.
I went on holiday to Croatia earlier this year, and that was like a proper beach holiday. Don't do anything.
It was such a beach holiday.
Go on. No, go on, you can say it.
You enjoyed a bit of time on a nudist beach.
We did. For the first time in my life, we went to a nudist bathing area. And the best part about it was that there was no one else there.
Right.
So it wasn't like going to a
I can
beach
imagine you both, and you probably were very adult about it.
We were.
And I'm 38 and I should be better than this. But I can imagine it being very giggly.
Yeah, it was super giggly. And every time, because it was like by the sea. So every time a boat went past, I was like, ooh, suddenly pulling the towel up over myself. It was very funny. But then like there were like ladders that were built into the sea in this area.
Yeah.
So it was like encouraging you to like swim naked in the sea. And it was the most amazing thing I've ever done. It was incredible.
Do you arrive to a nudist beach clothed?
Yes.
And then you don't just...
You don't strip off in your hotel room and walk there.
just
through the lobby.
It's a question I've never asked. So
No, we went clothed and then...
Did you swim in the sea naked?
Yeah.
I bet that was amazing.
It was incredible. It was so... And the fact that there was like no one else there as well. There was like one other couple that we saw there in the whole holiday.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Who do you love travelling with and why?
I actually now love travelling with the kids. I love travelling with Derek. I love travelling with friends, especially friends you've known a long time. I did a great trip recently with Alison Hammond.
Oh, I bet she's fun.
Amazing. She is hilarious to travel with. She got a marriage proposal in the airport. What? We were only there for 15 minutes.
Who from?
I literally went to the loo, bought a cup of tea and came back and this guy had proposed. It was unbelievable. I was just like, what the heck?
Did he just have a spare plane ticket? It was like, I need to
he
pick
just
someone.
sat down and he proposed to her. It was extraordinary. Anyway, she was just like, yeah, and he proposed, really casual about it. So I was like, this is big stuff. But I mean, I don't think she's seen him again,
Oh,
so it was a
okay,
no.
okay.
But yeah, so she's hilarious to travel with.
Actually, I've got a question about the jungle-based.
Oh yeah,
Have you
yeah.
learnt any travel tricks or hacks from your time in the jungle?
That's a good question.
And is there anyone from your campmates that you'd travel with again?
Oh yeah, definitely.
you all on a
I
WhatsApp
love them.
group?
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, we still got
And
the
also,
WhatsApp
so
group.
you guys had it where you went into COVID, didn't you, after your year?
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2019 was up my
Yeah.
year, and then it was the following year. But Caitlyn Jenner, I mean, we all wanted to travel with her, but she literally, as the train took off, removed herself from the WhatsApp group.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, it was. It was literally, you could have timed it on the runway, and it was like, Caitlyn Jenner has left the group.
Oh my God.
She did give her number out to various people, to be
Right,
fair.
okay.
But she obviously felt like she didn't want to be part of the...
Ouch.
I know. And you know what WhatsApp is like? It tells you, doesn't it? It's not like somebody deleting you from
can't
their contacts.
sneak
It's
out.
like, you are no longer part of this group.
Yes.
You are out.
I would have just loved to have seen the conversation that followed that.
Yeah, exactly. Has Caitlyn literally gone? Now, hang on a minute. She only just taken off.
She literally logged on to the Wi-Fi
Yeah,
on the
on the
airplane
plane.
just so she could remove herself.
But she was brilliant fun in there, actually. So, but yeah, it'd be good to see her. In fact, I have seen her again, and I've interviewed her since. But it's been
different world
It's
as
a different
well.
world, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
I didn't know you were an ex-teacher.
Yeah, maths teacher.
So you've travelled with kids, surely, on school trips, or did you just avoid those?
No, I did it all the time. I was head of sixth form. But when we used to go on the school trips, because I was so disorganised, I wouldn't listen to any of the instructions. Or I wouldn't... So sometimes kids would go to me, what time are we supposed to be meeting at Thingy? And I thought, I don't know. And then a couple of times I just make up times. There's a couple of times where, like, they'd be at a meeting point and they'd have to wait 20 minutes for me and every kid I'd spoken to about what time we had to meet up. You'd always know the kids that had asked Romesh what time the meeting was because they'd all arrive at the same time. And eventually, there's like the teacher running the trip was just like, mate.
Just say nothing.
Just please, it's better for you to say, I don't know, than tell children abroad the wrong time to meet up. And then I remember one night we were in Rome actually, and we went to a pizza place. We're having a nice time, and it was like near the end of the trip, and like towards the end of the trip, everyone's getting a bit relaxed. It's gone well. Do you know what I mean? And I became conscious that I'd drunk too much wine.
Oh no!
But I wasn't battered, but I was like tipsy, and so. But then I was tipsy and a member of staff on a school trip, and then we're just walking around Rome, and kids were talking to me, and you know when you overcompensate. I just stopped being needlessly wordy and stuff like, well, that is a very interesting question, yes. Maybe we should look and try and find the answer together. Mr. Hopkins, Stephen has an interesting inquiry vis-a-vis the architecture of this particular part of... It was just really bad. I was just so paranoid.
How did it feel when you woke up the next day?
The fear. The fear was unreal.
Did anyone say anything?
No.
I bet the kids loved it. Do you miss flying?
So much. Like it's like traumatizing.
How long did you do it for?
9.5 years. Wow. And I was a cabin manager, so I was in charge of the aircraft. I could like make people's day. I was like Cilla Black on Surprise, Surprise. Like if I had loads of spare seats in business class, I'd be trying to find people whose like anniversaries it was or birthdays it was to upgrade them. And if people were drinking wine, they really liked it. Be like, do you want a bottle to take off with you? And I would just say like,
it makes my day if someone gives me an extra can. I've got to say,
yes.
Because wine, it comes in cans at the moment on planes that I've been on. If they give me an extra one, I'm just like, thank you.
I always used to say in my briefing, like, if it's not nailed down, give it away. Like, you can't have it, so you might as well give it to someone that can. Like, and if you can do something nice to make someone's day, then do it.
Do you have any secret, like, flying tips? Anything that you do, having done it so often?
Neck pillow. Always a neck pillow. And also, I can't do it anymore, but I sleep on the table. If it's a short haul flight.
Yeah.
So I fly to Spain quite a lot. So the first thing I do, table down, head down, and I sleep the whole way.
Wow.
Because it's so much more comfy to get your head down.
Yeah.
And the biggest bit of advice actually I can give to families travelling is those bed things that you see on TikTok, the jetpack kids things. Do not buy them if you're going on any of the UK airlines because you're not allowed them, and you'll spend a hell of a lot of money on a product that you're not actually allowed. Because the person in front can't put their chair back, so it's like a safety thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we used to have so many rows with people.
As a wheelchair user, travel can be really, really complex. Like, even just going on a plane and you have to trust somebody else with your equipment, it's really, really stressful. So when you get to where you're going, you want to know that everything is taken care of, everything's accessible, the hotels are great, and that the people there are going to be really helpful.
Yeah.
So whenever we've looked at any other holiday, we've kind of not bothered and just gone back to what we love, which is Disney. So everything, I genuinely do not have to worry about anything when I get that. I know all the restaurants are accessible, shops are accessible, the rides and all of that with the access pass, which we'll get onto in a little bit, that all helps so much. And it just feels like you don't have to second guess any of that, which as a disabled person, and especially as a wheelchair user with a physical disability, I never get that privilege of never having to think about it.
I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Day to day, you do have to continuously be assessing where you can go, how you can do things if you're out and about. Whereas it must just be so freeing for your mind to go, I'm going to go here and everything is accessible to me.
I actually find it really hard to think what they could do better. And I have never said that about anything in my life. It is just the one place where I know I don't have to think about anything.
Let's talk Disney Park experience, because you have had a Disney Park experience. You've been to Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, we'd always talked about going to Disney, but it's that thing of like debating about what age your kids should be to go. So one year I said we're going to go to Disneyland Paris, and the kids were like absolutely buzzing. So I booked it to be right at the door of the park. Right. And then I booked, the room that we booked was like this super experience where like every day they hide chocolates in the room and stuff like that, and like the kids do a little hunt when they come in. And I didn't know anything about. I obviously I'm a Disney fan, but didn't know what it was like. I'd heard stories about what it's like to visit a Disney park, but I didn't know what it was like. And so I turned up to the hotel, and somebody came over and said, "Oh yeah, can we help you?" And then he said, Which room are you in?" And what blah blah blah. And I told him, and then he went. And then honestly, this is what happened. He went, "You are about to have the most magical experience of your life." I was like, "Oh my days, what is this, man?" And then. Yeah, it was like it was an amazing time. Like the Ratatouille ride was like a game changer
so
for
much
us.
fun.
Doing that cruise
Yeah.
on the Disney Wish, where we had the relaxation of being at sea and, you know, lounging in the sun and, you know, getting coffee and just chilling out.
Going to Castaway Cay.
And then, but then going to Castaway Cay and going to the Bahamas. Like, I'd never been to the Bahamas before. And, like, swimming in the sea. And, it was just so great. And then on board the ship, having all of those, like, amazing bars, the, like, unbelievable restaurants. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was just so great.
What did you think it was going to be like before you got on?
I don't know. I don't think I had any expectations, but I just didn't expect it to be that sort of perfect mix of having a relaxing holiday. And, you know, there are places on board the ship that aren't as, like, Disney amplified. And you can just go to a bar and have a drink without someone singing It's a Small World in your ear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then if you want that Disney experience, there's, like, a million places on board the ship where you can go and have that.
I mean, it was all just incredible.
It was so good.
My dreams, this is my ultimate dream, kids or no kids, is to spend Christmas Day at Walt Disney World. It's my ultimate dream because when we went with the kids when they were a bit younger, there was a full-sized gingerbread house in the
Grand Floridian.
Yes,
They were
in
building that.
reception.
Yeah, they were building that this
Oh,
time when
the
we were there.
smell. That smell of like pure ginger as you walk in, like the Christmassy smell, like I just won't forget it. And just the fact that it was fully made out of gingerbread, like it's magical. Do you know what I mean? Everything about it is, from the hotel to the park. And I just want that experience for all of us to just spend Christmas Day there and just be fully involved in it over the Christmas period.
It's so good.
Yeah. I don't care how old the kids are or how old I'll be. I'll do it one day.
But my Space Mountain story from Walt Disney World, the person before me had spilt their popcorn in the footwell. They had got off, obviously, and nobody had seen it. And I just got on and I thought, I don't want to wait anymore, so I won't tell anyone, it's fine. So I'm like screaming, and a piece of secondhand footwell popcorn on one of the drops, a piece of secondhand footwell popcorn went into my mouth. And I could still taste the salt on my tongue. Like, I obviously spat it out and then, like, stopped screaming and was like, but I could still taste the salt on my tongue.
Well, was it salty popcorn or was it just salty from some
I don't
saltiness on the
know.
floor?
I don't know. I hope it was just the person before me that was. And I came off. I said to the cast member, I was like, "Excuse me, there's footwell popcorn in there." And he was like,
You've called it footwell popcorn.
secondhand football popcorn. Like literally horrendous. Oh, and I've got another Disney tip. I'm just thinking, it's now my vlogs are all
Don't take
coming
your
back to me.
popcorn on Space
Don't take
Mountain.
popcorn on Space Mountain, please. If you sing, you get your parking for free.
I saw this on one of your videos. Mm-hmm. You tested it.
We tested it. We made Luke test it. My husband. We're like, Luke, sing to them. And he was like, let it go, let it go. And then I went, yeah, go on then, go. Because they have like pixie dust, don't they? They can do nice things for people.
Yeah. I already feel like Hollywood Studios is going to be your favourite park.
Do you reckon?
Well, because it's got Galaxy's Edge. It's got Star Wars.
I don't even know how I'm going to react, man. Like, I'm actually going to be in Star Wars.
You actually are.
Yeah. It'd be better than being cast in a Star Wars film because, like, then you have to do stuff. Whereas I'm just going to be wandering around, just fist bumping a stormtrooper or something like that. I cannot believe it.
We've been to Walt Disney World together.
We have, I know.
It was the coldest winter ever. The locals that had never owned coats were buying coats.
Didn't they say it was in like 20 years? It was like the coldest it had been in 20 years or something, I seem to remember.
Yeah, because we've been at Christmas a lot of times and it was never like that.
Yeah. I remember I literally had a leather jacket, was like my coat. We had to buy like hats and gloves, didn't we, from
You
like
were,
the
there was one
shops.
point you were like, I am wearing everything from my suitcase.
Yeah, and I looked like a robber the whole holiday because I was just literally in like black head to toe. It was, I just have never experienced anything like that before in my life. But it was so fun going with friends.
Yeah.
Like having gone, because I think that might have been the second time that I'd ever been from like being as a child, and actually being able to experience that with other people that are obsessed with Disney as well.
Yeah.
Like it was just so much fun.
And
We were
seeing
just
the
like big
magic.
kids, weren't we?
Well, that's what you go to Disney for.
Yeah.
I think there is that you have a license to just go and be a big kid.
I must have been about 13 or 14. We were in Disney World. We were in Epcot, which is my favourite park. And it was just me, mum and dad. Mum and dad went off to the toilet and I was sat on a bench near, where was I? I must have been in Germany. And all I heard was... And I was like, what is that noise? And all of a sudden, this gate opened next to me and Snow White and all 7 dwarves marched out. And it was early in the morning, so there was no one around. So Mum and Dad came back from the toilet and I was playing hide and seek with Bashful. And I've got this amazing picture that I don't know where it's gone, but I've got like an old disposable camera photo of me and Bashful like either side of a tree. Because it was just like, there was no one around, so I just got to play with the 7 dwarves for like 10 minutes. So good. So good. And it's like magical moments like that you never get anywhere other than Disney.
You don't. You really don't.
Yeah, it is just that like Disney magic that isn't just in the attractions and isn't just in the restaurants and whatnot. It's in just the place itself.
I don't know what it is about the coming together at the end of a Disney day, watching the fireworks. It's really moving, and I get moved watching other people have moving moments.
Yeah, the fireworks this time, and they had drones because it was the 30th anniversary, which was
How amazing is that display? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and by the end of it, we just turned to each other and said, if you didn't cry at that, you are made of stone, because it was just so moving. And you're right, it's been a long, lots of adrenaline highs and excitement, and it just rounds the whole thing off. And actually, by the Disney Castle, somebody proposed, which was just wonderful. What a perfect place to propose. So Darcy was like, this is the best day of my life.
Oh, that's
so
what you
lovely.
want.
I know, we were all applauding. So yeah, but yeah, it would make you want to propose, I think.
Because I leave the fireworks believing that I can do anything I want in the world ever. Like, that is a genuine thing. I go home and I'm like, I can be whoever I want to be. I can do whatever I want. I feel really inspired. I feel amazing. And then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, Frank, they were fireworks. You're still the same person.
No, that energy is inside you now.
It's inside. The magic
Go
is inside
forth
now.
and conquer.
Sorry.
It's such a famous thing to go, everybody knows that's the thing you do.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, should we go see that tonight? And so we're there, and then watching the kids just like watch it was like amazing, man. Do you know what I mean?
And because you are someone who looks at life professionally in a more cynical way,
Yeah.
like, what is it like then when that kind of comes flooding in?
It's frightening.
What is this happiness? What is this feeling?
I'm feeling sort of like, this is like warm. Lisa, what's this warm thing that's happening in my chest? Oh, that's joy, Romesh. You try and push it away normally. No, I mean like that sort of thing. I think like when you're somewhere with your kids, like you just sort of embrace. And it's a weird thing, like, because I was geeking out as well, because I'm so into like Marvel and Star Wars as well as the traditional Disney stuff. I'm sort of geeking out and enjoying it myself, but I think you do vicariously watch your kids enjoy that, and it feels great, man. It's really good.
Yeah.
It is. It comes from the films, doesn't it? There is something special
In the
about the
storytelling.
ethos of Disney and the stories, and there is that feeling, I always cry at the fireworks and I always cry at Disney. There's something about that spirit of, I don't know, bravery and kindness and a little bit of magic that you just think, if we could all have that in our life every day, it'd be wonderful, wouldn't it?
It's the way it makes me feel. It's like I've never felt so inspired and so creative than when I'm either watching a Disney movie or in a Disney park. And every time I go to Disney, I come back feeling like I want to take on the world, because I'm so inspired by everything I've seen, whether it's watching the kids get excited about something or whether it's being like completely mind blown by a ride and how incredible it is, whether it's the technology or the idea behind it. And it's then going, I want to do something like that, or I want to make my mark on the world, or I want to make someone feel like Disney's just made me feel. And I just love that. I can't get enough of that feeling. I feel like I'm constantly chasing the way. It's not even necessarily Disney and what it is. It's the way that Disney makes me feel. And that's why I keep going back.
Well, what a series it's been. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this series as much as we've enjoyed making it. If you're a regular listener, you'll know that we love a special episode. And coming soon, we'll be celebrating 100 years of Disney with the best guests I could hope for, our Disney fan listeners. It's going to be a really fun Disney celebration that you're not going to want to miss. So get your Mickey's ready, and we'll see you soon. Bye!